Good morning, everybody. Jim Adkins here from Adkins.life. I know that's a new website, but I wanted to share it with you. Adkins.life. Probably not up as we speak right now, but it'll be up in a few. It's my coaching website. We've been working on it. We've had the coaching business through 26 moves for a long time. And we're finally separating them because that's really where my focus for the next adventure in my life is headed. Is this coaching practice? I've been coaching for over 20 years. As a martial arts instructor and a martial arts coach, and we're finally taking it to the next level. So I'll ask you now, and I'll ask you again at the end of the video, if you know anybody that could use some coaching services. And I'm not talking about physical coaching, but I can do that. But more in the life coaching, the business coaching, the goals, strategic intervention type coaching. If you're not sure what it is, contact me and I'll talk to you about it. Basically, it's this. It's helping people get focused, helping them decide what it is they want to do, where they're at, and where they would like to go, and then keeping them on track. Again, Adkins.life. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. Today, I've got a couple things I want to talk about. I've had some questions come across just recently as I was getting ready to do this show. People were talking about a few things that took place yesterday, and I'll cover them a little bit. But really, what I want to go through right now is the new F word. I'm not sure if you saw that or not, how I posted morning, Mr. Motley, the new F word. And the new F word, as far as I'm concerned, and what I've heard other people talk about, is the word fine. What do I mean by the new F word? Okay, well, you all know the analogy of an F word, right? Well, things mean what you give them meaning, right? So when you do something like this finger, and you have a certain meaning or it means something to you, that's what it means, and people can blow it out of proportion. They can get upset about simple things, simple little things, but really that emotion that they're feeling is just a way to express or experience something. Okay, and when you use the other F word, fine, you don't need to experience anything. How are you today? Fine. How's your business? Fine. How's your relationship? Fine. How's your wife? Fine. How's your husband? Fine. How's your significant other? Fine. How are your kids? Fine. Fine just kind of puts us in a stagnation mode, doesn't it? So whenever you're speaking to yourself or speaking to others or speaking about your goals or some of the things that you want to achieve, and you use the word fine, I think you create a stagnation point, right? How are your finances? Fine. Well, are you making as much money as you would like to make? I guarantee you're making as much money as you feel you need to. Until you raise your standards and change your paradigm, you're only making what you feel you're worth. That's it. And you're settling for it. I know it's a harsh reality, but it's absolutely the truth. I'm the same way. I've got um, certain thermostats and certain things that kick on when you get a little bit out of your comfort zone. We have to change our paradigm, raise our standards, and believe that we're worth that kind of money. Okay. How's your relationship? Our relationship's fine. Well, I'm not talking about mine and Sarah. Our relationship is extraordinary. She's incredible. Um, I don't know how many other big adjectives or adverbs I can throw at you about our relationship, because it's wonderful, right? So, but let's just say I asked you and you said fine. What does that mean? It means you're settling. It means you're okay right where you're at. Nothing needs to change, which may be true. You don't need to make it better. It doesn't need to be worse. It's not going to get worse. It's just fine. Is that where you want to live? Fine. I don't know, the new F word, right? So if you find yourself using the word or somebody else using the word fine, think about it. Don't pick on them. Now, listen, this is not permission to run out and go, oh, you said fine. Don't do that, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is just kind of think about it for a minute, okay? Um, how's your fitness program? Fine. How's your health? Fine. Really? Really? Okay. I wanted to throw that out there to you. The new F word is fine. Tell me what you think about that, and see if you can count how many times you use it in a day. All right, let's move on. The next thing I put up there is the seasons of life. Now, have you ever heard the expression seasons of life before? There was a book, and I wish I'd have looked it up before I got on here. It just kind of popped into my head as I was getting ready. Um, I think it's called, gosh, maybe the Four Seasons, or maybe it is the Seasons of Life. It was written by a couple of analysts from the financial industry. These guys had done some research. I'll try and look it up and see if I can get it to you. Maybe I'll just type it in the comments or something later. But it's a book. These analysts actually went back and researched hundreds of years of patterns. Now, as an analyst, you can imagine they're really good at witnessing and recognizing patterns. I got the same way when I was a broker. That's what I looked at is patterns, people patterns, and projections and such like that. So what they did is they came up with like these seasons, the regular seasons like summer, um, fall, winter, and spring. Okay, they didn't invent those, but what they did is they recognized the relationship between those four seasons that we witness regularly and things that happen in our lives. And I'm not just talking about simple little things, I'm talking about big, holy crap things too, like wars, recessions. Um, and they put them into decades, almost, I think it was between 10 and 13 years on average, there was a seasonal shift. I was very intrigued by this, and I think you will be too, because when I take it as a philosopher, I like to take big ideas like this and place them on top of everything just to kind of see where we can go with it. So, I've done this before and I kind of forget. You get so many wonderful things going on in your life, you forget to go back and have these tools. I tell my martial arts students this all the time. You have an abundance of tools in your toolbox. If you don't know they're there, do you really have like in the analogy of a toolbox, if you go down to your garage and you find that 13/16 wrench that's been in there forever, and you've got 12 of them. Why? Because every time you needed one, you couldn't find it. You had to go buy another one, right? So it's important to know what's in your toolbox. So seasons of life has existed in my toolbox. And I want to pull it out, sharpen it, and share it with you. So we could start with, I don't know, I'm not really good at the decades because as a father, I witnessed decades probably different than other people. Well, if you're a parent, you did too. I lived I lived through the '80s. Okay, I think yeah, I lived through the '80s, and the '80s is equated to the summer, and it's in their book, and I'll tell you why. In the summertime, we experience and enjoy abundance, right? We're spending, there's a lot of energy, we're out moving around and we're having fun and we're relishing in all of the hard work that we've done in the spring to get ready for summer and in the wintertime and stuff. So the '80s were summer. And then what falls after summer? Naturally, because these seasons, they do correspond. So after summer, we have fall. Well, how do you relate to fall? Fall is a time of slowing down, gathering, protecting, right? If you look at fall weather, if you look at the earth, we do the same thing. So which decade do you think that is? Okay, and then what decade or more, because it could be, I think it's, 10, 15, something like that, years, 18 years, and it's not a perfect science, but it follows along. So after fall, you have winter. What happens in winter? Winter things shut down. Okay, and they shut down for a reason. It's not always a bad thing, but they shut down. Trees will shed the old and prepare for the new. Animals will hibernate and regenerate. Plants will also do the same thing. People do the same thing. So you have the winter, right? And then what comes after winter? Well, you have spring. Well, spring is a time for regeneration and rebirth and regrowth. So you have these decades. You have the '80s. I wonder where winter or fall started. What part of the '90s were we looking for? And then I believe it was '99 when the bubble popped on the internet craze in Wall Street, right? So would that be winter? As things shut down and stopped and recorrected themselves. And then as we look towards spring, was that, 2010? Was that 2015? Now, if we're in spring at the moment, and I'm arbitrarily picking these, but if we're in spring, in this, not here, but in our lives, in our cycle of our lives worldwide, what comes next? Let's just cat. Let's just say that 2016 was the start of spring, the end of winter, the beginning of spring. Things were starting to grow again. The economy was picking up and booming. Jobs were moving forward. People were feeling a little more optimistic. So there's a lot more activity taking place. There's a rebirth, a regrowth, a relooking, a resurgence. All of these things are starting to happen in the spring. And let's go from 2016. Let's go to 20. What would that be? 2026 before summer gets here again. Is it that far away? Let me back it up to 2015 then so I can be a part of 2025, right? 2025 would be summertime. And when the summer comes, bam. But in order to get to the summer, we have to shed some things first. So winter is never really over right away. So you've got some regrowth and some rebirth, and then the shedding of the unnecessary as summer comes. Okay. These are the seasons of life. Now let's put these into things like your goals, because knowing what season you're in can help you prepare for what's coming. Does that make sense? And you don't have to be decades. Okay, let's just say you've got a goal and you started planning for the goal. What season would that be? Planning for the goal. Okay, it would probably be considered winter, right? Then as spring approaches, you want to be ready. As spring starts to pop up and things are starting to regrow and you're moving forward and the energy's starting to rise and you're picking up your pace and you're getting everything you need for your goals and you're studying, you're learning, you're whatever it is, your goals are taking shape, right? And in the summertime, the abundance of that goal takes hold and you get to enjoy the benefits of that goal. As fall rolls around to that goal, since you've already achieved it, fall starts to set in, you want to take stock. You want to revisit the idea of the goal, gather the necessary things for your life, and prepare for winter. Because your abundance and your fulfillment will inevitably start to taper off. And as it does, it's time to set new goals. It's time to gather the things that are important to you, protect the things that you have, and start to plan new goals. Does that make sense? So knowing the seasons of life that you're in right now can help you move forward. Same thing with your career. Are you in the winter seasons of your career? Are you in the summer seasons of your career? Know that these changes are going to come. I don't know how often they come for you. I think maybe you can even control them. I really do. You can definitely watch for them, right? So where are you at? Are you planning for a new one? Are you planning to leave the one you're in? Are you really enjoying the one you have now? What season are you in? Write it down. And they don't have to correspond with every aspect of your life. I wonder if they do. I would be very interested. I'm going to do this. This is going to be my exercise for the week. I'm going to take stock in my goals, my relationship, my career, my business, my finances, and my fitness. And I'm going to see what season I'm in. And I'm going to do it without judgment and try to find out if they correspond. And if they do, I'm going to try and look at our state and our nation and see if they. This is a great idea. Okay, so I'm going to do some research. I want you to too as well. All right. So your relationship again, same thing. Are you in the summer? Are you protecting? Are you in the fall? Are you gathering? Are you are you in the winter? Are you protecting? Are you in the fall? Are you gathering? Are you in the summer? Are you enjoying the abundance? Or in the spring? Is it brand new and starting to resurge? I would say that my relationship right now is in the beginning parts of spring. It's just it's only beginning to flourish and become. We've been through the winter. We have. Um, and we protected it, and here we are, and now we're in spring. I can't wait to see how summer comes, and then knowing that as we grow old together, you know, fall is going to set in, and then winter, and we're going to protect each other again, and then our grandkids are going to anyway. So there we go. Seasons of life, pretty cool, right? All right, give it a shot. Tell me how it works for you. What season are you in? Let me know. All right. Number 3 on the list that I put down there is hire an expert. Now, if you're not sure what season of life you're in, or you're not even sure what goals you want, or if you find yourself floundering and you're lost, or you think you know where you're headed, but you just can't get started. Um, Depending on what season you're in, if you don't really know, hire an expert. And I throw that pitch out there because that's me. I have been a life coach. I just said this at the beginning of the video. I'm going to say it again because this is really where I need your help today. As a life coach, a lot of people throw that term around loosely. They really do. Life coach, life coach, life coach. Okay, what does it really mean? Well, a life coach is somebody that can help you with the seasons of your life. A life coach is somebody that can take you from where you're at to where you are, help you. Excuse me, I ain't taking you anywhere. I can help you get from where you're at to where you want to be within reason. You can make extreme changes in people's life. I've been doing it for over 20 years as a martial arts instructor and a life coach for personal people, for businesses, for executives. I've been doing this for, like I said, over 20 years. And as the seasons shift in my career, here we go, I am looking to move more into the direction of life coaching and walk away from teaching a massive amount of people. I'm going to keep a few select private students, and I'll always teach, always. And I will help run the dojos, but I have some very qualified instructors all over the United States that are doing it already. So up here is not going to be any different. They're going to eventually start to take over. I'll teach people to manage and teach the way I do and share online. I've offered my classes. I've offered my 26 moves, which is the system that no belts are required. It's what I taught to the special forces and some of the things I taught to the police department. It's the advanced version of cutting away of the self-defense systems, and it's worth your time. You can get that online. So I'm learning to multiply my time that way as a martial artist and moving into the life coaching. Why? It's very fulfilling. It's extremely fulfilling to take the 40 plus years that I've spent mastering the mindset of a martial artist, mastering the mindset of a martial artist in many different ways. And the life coaching set falls right in with that. The unique vision that I have as a martial artist helps me help other people without having to go through and get their black belt and their advanced black belts. I can take my crazy thought process, right, and help them see through. In case you haven't picked up on any of that right now, I really hope that you have. And if you have, here's my big pitch. And you know somebody that could use services like mine, tell them about me. Share these videos, get them to subscribe, have them contact me. Our new website's going up. My son's working on it right now. It's called Adkins.life, Adkins.life. And the coaching practice will be separate from everything else. We've been running it as 26 moves. We're going to run it separately. Hire an expert. And let me tell you why it's important to hire an expert. You would not try to operate on yourself if you needed surgery, right? You go to an expert to find out. There are other, lawyers. You don't want to, try to represent yourself in certain situations where you would need an expert. So doctors, lawyers, and you can even go as far as mechanics or carpenters, or there are a lot of experts out there. And some people try to dabble. Martial arts instructors. People love to think they can teach themselves martial arts. No, you can't. You can learn the moves by watching and mimicking people, absolutely. But to really get the depth of martial arts, you need to find an expert. You need to find somebody that you can relate to that has been there before. I'm sorry about the rant, but that's how it goes. So hire an expert, have them hire me. I would love to help people out. And again, this is what I want to do. So thank you so much for listening. We're going to have some workshops coming up starting on Sunday/Monday this week. So we've got about 4 days from now. We wrote down 3, I think, what we're going to try and do. One was how to achieve your goals, not how to set them, but how to achieve them. Number 2 was successful rituals. I was going to share with you the rituals of the successful people that I have had the opportunity to not only mentor and coach, but interview in my life, and the ones that I look up to as mentors, the successful rituals, and then your belief system. So we have 3, and you get to tell me and vote. So far, I think it's just goals that we're looking for. Somebody wants to have 1 vote, and the vote was for achieving your goals. So let me know what you think. It's what day? It's day 21, I think it is, right? I wrote it down. I believe it's day 21 today. Yep, day 21 of 26 days. We're in the final stretch. 26 days of you. and my ramblings. Okay, here's your goodbyes, right? I love you. Love each other. It's really easy to do. Share my videos, please, if you like them or if you find some value in them. If you haven't already done so, subscribe, and thank you so much for doing that. And I welcome your feedback, and I welcome your questions. Uh, Let me know what you're thinking. Have a beautiful day. And until I see you later this afternoon on a different stream with a fitness challenge, um, live with gratitude. All right? On your mark, get set,